there's drama in the real estate market too, which I'm sure is what we're all really here for.
Very juicy.
Oh my God, so juicy.
Portal wars.
Portal wars. So since the last time we were here,
Portal wars.
Portal wars. That's what they're calling it now.
Oh, you're so cute.
I think Nick's been drinking.
Just coffee.
Yeah. Follow, make that cash. Under all is the land, the real estate. Courtney, your friends about to show you how to generate wealth. Get educated, do for yourself. Add a couple notches to your belt. Under all is the land. Under all is the land. The real under all is the land. Under all is the land. The real estate. Coming to you live from ACME Real Estate in Los Angeles, California.
Welcome to the giggliest episode of Under All is the Land. This is the second podcast of 2025. I'm your host, Courtney Poulos, here with my rock star co-stars, Silke Fernald.
Hello.
And Dominique Madden.
Hello.
Don't stop your giggling on my account.
Okay, well.
Giggle on.
It got all serious. I'll let it all out.
So how's it going, y'all?
It's going great.
Is it going great?
Spring is springing.
Is it springing?
It is springing.
Yes.
We had 95 degrees.
We did. I wish the interest rates would spring in the other direction.
Yeah, fall.
Yeah, fall. There you go.
That would be great.
Yes, but they aren't. How do you guys feel about that?
You know what? They're not as bad as they could be. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, I've had clients who have had really good success recently with rates, honestly. I think it's just finding people who offer the good rates, and usually that means their timelines are not great, you know? Like,
right.
You know.
But sellers are more willing to make
Yeah.
some accommodations for that now, I think.
Yeah, we have sellers who like to help with the interest rate buy down. That's great.
So it makes it even more important who you work with, who has access to lenders that have great programs, because you don't have to necessarily pay, like, I think it's like around 6.5 right now, last time I looked. But I bought my first place with 6.5 interest. I still made a profit.
Hey,
still
we
sold,
were at,
still, you know.
You just have to
Whatever.
get in. Just have to get in.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
what it is.
we were at 8%, a year ago or something? So, you know, I mean, 6.5 isn't bad. And I just had clients who were at a 5.5. I have clients who just closed at a 5.9. And their lenders, he's at 5.875 as of a few days ago.
Okay.
I don't know if that's changed. But
5.875 is good.
5.875 is great.
All right.
That is great.
Yeah, that is really great.
That is great.
Are you seeing it in the luxury market, Nelly, as well? Like, is it affecting? Because I feel like my 2 million plus people are not as concerned.
No,
You guys feel the same way?
they're not.
They're not.
No, they're not.
They're not.
It's a different price level. You know.
Well,
The more concerned
obviously, I think
people
what
are
it
the
is
first-time
that if you
home
have
buyers.
a little bit extra money to
Yes.
put down, then you can kind of offset the impact of the
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, and one of my clients has been learning, who, you know, kind of just realized that he's a great saver and has much more money than most people do, you know, which humbly he didn't realize. But once he started talking to this bank and this lender, and they gave him all of these different like ways to utilize the money he has to get better terms, you know, like for example, that 5.5% rate, like, you know, he was able to get that because he was able to move a certain amount of money into that particular bank, but for a short period. It doesn't even need to sit in that bank, you know?
Yeah.
So
BMO does that.
yeah.
Yeah, if you like move some money into an account, then they'll give you a credit on the interest rate. And then if you set it up for auto pay, they give you another credit. Like, there's definitely incentives for relationships.
Give them money to play with, and then they give you money to
That's
play
what they do. I heard somebody say something like, if you look at the system, it's all designed to make sure you never have your money. Like, you never actually hold your money, which is kind of scary because it is true. It's like the incentives for even putting your money in an account, then if you took your $100,000 of cold hard cash and put it in an account, now it's turned into like this digital asset, but you don't have your money. And other people will continue to use your money, and they incentivize you to hold your money so they can make money off your money. Yeah, like we never really have the money.
Yeah, he was like, this is rich people shit. I have arrived.
Congratulations.
Welcome to adulthood.
Yes.
Yeah.
And here are the keys.
Love that.
Yeah,
But-
that's awesome.
But
That's a
I
good-
will say what I'm seeing right now, and I wish there was a way, I don't think it gets through to everybody, but it's like just a lot of people who are afraid to actually write winning offers, like really afraid to pull the trigger. Like the urgency is just so low. Even if it's a great deal, even if you get a rate buy down, even if we've normalized, like I'm working on new construction right now, where literally the seller's giving $30,000 credit, 3% buyer agency commission. Like it's an incredible deal. Like you're getting an interest rate that could be in the 4s right now for your first year. And still you see resistance.
Because people are uncertain about so many things. Everybody's sort of,
but life is uncertain.
and
paying your rent is uncertain. Having a job is always uncertain.
Of course, I'm not arguing against it. I'm just saying that that's where everybody's at. They're all sitting
to me,
like shocked, and too many news are coming from all kinds of places, and too many people in their ear. Like let's just wait. Let's see how things play out. It's
short-sighted.
difficult to
short-sighted.
get people to not see that, but see the distance of the opportunity now. That you will, in a year, you'll kick yourself that you didn't jump on this.
That's right. But the data speaks to that.
Exactly.
And if you look at what the money people are doing, you look at where Warren Buffett is putting his money, there's no question real estate is the better investment than the stock market. And I heard another statistic that was like only 10% of people actually have money in the stock market anyway. So when the stock market is complaining, when Wall Street's complaining, this is not a representation of the majority of people. Mm-hmm. It hurt you that that maybe in this tariff environment, like it won't be as easy. Okay, Trump said something like, well, maybe you'll get 2 higher quality American dolls instead of having like 30 cheap dolls from China or something. They said something like that. And you know what? I was like, I get that, you know, because I do feel like since Amazon, like
much overconsumption.
Cheap Chinese
Why does
stuff,
everybody need so much stuff? Exactly.
I wish I didn't have as much trash stuff.
Exactly.
Like you order it looks like the thing you ordered, and then you get it and you're like, this doesn't fit. But then you don't throw it away. So then you like have it in your closet, never wear it. Yeah. It's not
It's
quality.
the fast fashion, it's the Shein,
exactly.
all
All
those
of
websites
that.
and everything.
So I'm like,
down with Shein, down with the fast fashion. I hate all of it. It's so disgusting.
It ends up.
Have you ever ordered something from Shein?
Because I have a teenager, I do, and it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just
and there's like a Netflix.
One wash.
There's a toxic warning on those things. There's chemicals in the clothes that are toxic.
I have a toddler. Like the toys, everything. I'm only ordering made in America stuff. And I will tell you this. There's another thing too. There was another piece of this. I was having this conversation last night, which was, we fight in our country to have rules, right? Like I love that they're banning like poisonous dyes and stuff. I'm like, it shouldn't have taken you this long for this to happen. Yeah. We all should be behind this. Come on.
Yeah.
If you put food in your body, which is most human beings in America, you should probably be like, go RFKJ. Like, let's go.
Dude, I just watched a like short reel about like the toxicity of Little Debbie cakes.
Oh.
And when I say like, I don't know, like probably 5 out of 10 of those were my go-tos, and I used to throw them back, and I'm like, God, what is inside of me right now?
Little Debbie cakes? They're like little snacks.
Like zebra cakes, Swiss cake rolls.
So bad.
Oh my God. You get them at the grocery store too. They're not just at the gas station.
Yeah, but I mean, like they're like a thing that I would always see at the gas station. You would have them down in the grocery store? No,
of course I hunted them down in the grocery store.
Oh.
Yes.
Well,
Nick only buys her food at the gas station.
No, that's not what I'm saying. They have an end rack at the gas station.
Hey, I get it. It's late. You're hungry
sometimes, but they only put single packs.
Anyway.
Oh my God.
It's toxic and it's in your body. Yes, I agree. And it's a lot of
No, but you walk through a grocery store like a Ralph's or in Florida like the Publix, and literally like 90% of what you're walking through is like processed chemical food.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's crazy. We know it, but I'm like, we have to start at least aligning around things that I would consider common values. And I think whether you like to admit it or not, the reality is we all know the quality of the things that we buy that are imported from China are not good and not controlled. We know there are children working in these factories. Yes. We know that it's not controlled by our environmental laws in America that we fight so hard for. So you either believe in the system or not, and you can't believe in the system, fight for laws that are supposed to protect us, and then simultaneously be like, but I'm just going to throw that all out the window and buy my, food. I ordered a organic peanut Thai like little bag of peanut noodle things. And then I read the label, even though
It wasn't that great.
it was
huh?
made in China.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I certainly don't trust food that is made in China.
Yeah.
So it's trash.
Yeah.
Well, don't they
problem is
literally
it's
with
money.
chicken?
Literally,
Don't they?
It's all cheap. That's
Don't
why.
they like send chicken to China to be wrapped and then sent back?
There's
I
that
don't
too.
know.
There's like
It's
a
all
whole
weird.
there's a whole thing. And I learned that they only check like a very small percentage of the containers that come in. Like the shipping containers
Yeah,
that
how
come
could
in.
you check
it's a
everything, right?
small
I mean-
amount that even get quality control.
Yeah, it's a mess.
So I'm
It's a
like
mess.
fully with going back to, getting your bread from the
Oh,
from
I
the
I
bakery.
would love that.
like where there's actual person.
Buy only what you need.
Buy what you need.
Yeah.
Like less stuff.
Oh
But
my
that's
God.
just
With
the
it. I'm
consumption
with it.
in this country is something else. I mean,
Yeah, but it's an
just,
artificial
true.
manufactured
It's-
thing, and I remember
Yeah, it is.
a world where it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody who was raised in the '80s, we got one big present for Christmas. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know. I can't
it was
speak
like
for
the one
everybody,
big
but
thing
It was
and
one
the
big
small
thing and a bunch of
things.
little small things.
Yeah.
it wasn't
and
like
the shit
every
you
Christmas
needed,
was like, oh.
and the stuff you
everything
needed
is-
sometimes.
When everything is one click away, it's hard for
Yeah,
people not
that's
to
difficult,
overconsume.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But
like
it's
the
also
Amazon
addiction.
it's also the
effect,
price thing, though. I've never not to advertise Shein, but the prices. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is insane. How can pants be $8.55?
Because it's made by a 5-year-old.
But
actual
it
slavery.
can't be good. So when
No,
it
it
gets
also
here,
can't be
it's
good. The same with the
insane.
McDonald's hamburger. Anything
Right.
that
But
they,
that's the-
they make a profit.
Right,
on,
but
they
people want things and they can't buy things, and then would buy it there because it's cheap, and that's the whole point. That's it.
It's
as
the
long as
want.
things are cheap, that's when people will
It's
buy
the
it.
manufacturing
and the
of
want. Right, but there's also the whole sales mentality. There's like
just-
buy 2 and get 3 free. Oh, I need that. Okay, let's go. But you don't need it because you don't need it until you read the sign. Oh, if I buy 2, I get 3, or whatever the
Right.
thing is. Buy 2 and get 1 free, or whatever. And then you're like, oh, I don't really want 2. I just wanted 1. I'll buy 2 now. Now I have 3 at home. It's ridiculous.
I mean,
and
it's
that's
true.
what that's sort of. It's just different here, right?
I mean,
I
the main
just-
thing is that I think politically right now,
Mm-hmm.
no matter which side of the aisle you really are on, and I know there are a lot of really animated people on both sides, for me, I'm just focused on do I like the outcome? And honestly, getting poison out of our foods, I like that outcome.
That would be amazing, yeah. Well, let's see.
Consuming less or having higher quality
Yeah.
products, or even giving the idea of incentivizing American business. I'm with it. I know.
Let's see what happens.
We'll see what happens. But I drove across country recently with, and saw how shut down, boarded up, and it's crazy. It's you drive across the southern route across country, and it is insane.
What do you mean boarded up?
Whole cities just boarded up. Ghost towns.
That's sad.
What? Meth towns.
Oh.
It's crazy. And you're like, wow, this used to have a roller skating rink, and now it's a
Sad.
boarded up crazy place with people sleeping. I don't know. It's sad. So I'm I don't know. There are some outcomes that I'm not mad at. That said, have you been watching the Diddy? Well, I should say, have you been hearing?
What a segue into Diddy. Okay.
Meth heads Diddy. Okay, let's
Let's go. I haven't.
You haven't?
Educate me.
Oh.
I've been waiting for that.
Okay, I'll tell
my
you the
God.
last thing I heard. He's in prison.
Yes. He is in prison.
Go. What did I miss?
So the trial has started.
Okay.
It's the last thing I
She's
heard.
like,
He
she
might
knows
have killed
me.
Biggie. I don't know.
Oh, what?
Oh, what? I don't know.
Wait, what?
I mean, that's what they say.
What?
They say maybe. They say
Yeah.
He killed who?
maybe he was a part of the Biggie murder. Allegedly. Or he
Allegedly.
might have been
Okay. Well,
part of that.
Okay.
orchestration.
I mean,
Be my-
there are
be my
two
TMZ.
major
What's
Ricos
going
that have
on?
been going on, but we'll talk about this one. It's a little safer.
Okay. Yeah. What's
Cassie Ventura, who's the star witness, she's the one that was in the video, so she's been testifying. And it's pretty explicit testimony, pretty gnarly stuff going on.
Yeah, I don't even want to see that.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's what it reveals to you is well,
What a sick human being he is?
it's not just him though. It's
Well,
a whole
that's the thing.
system of sick.
Okay.
Well, okay. This is the part where. Okay. If we're asking did he or didn't he, of course he did, right? But on the same note, right now what's being attacked is his sexual endeavors, right? One could argue that there are a lot of people doing a lot of very
Gross
you know,
things.
interesting sexual things,
It's
right?
okay, you can say it's
tying
disgusting,
people up,
perverted.
you know, whatever, peeing, defecating, whatever. People get flown out to Dubai to get their mouth shit on,
Okay.
you know? Sorry.
Yes.
I just
Oh, wow,
you know?
okay.
Rich was telling me about this.
This is
like
a
they
real
pick
thing.
Hollywood stars and they'll be like, "What's your price?"
No,
What's your
not
price?
Hollywood stars.
No,
just
they do
girls.
that too.
No, but I'm saying just
Just
girls
ordinary
who want to
Instagram
sell
girls?
Yeah, just ordinary girls who just don't mind being shit on to get, you know, thousands or hundreds. I don't know how much they're getting, you know, but
Anyway,
sex
perverted
is not a
things
straightforward thing.
that are
It's not necessarily
consensual.
a vanilla thing.
So are we talking about consensual
Well,
now versus
this is
not?
the
So
question,
that's the
right?
question, right.
So
Okay.
you know, she's saying it wasn't, right?
Forcible,
Right.
like coercion.
Right.
It was
Right.
like
If
threat.
it was, then whatever, right?
That video of her running out, what she said in the trial was that was her running from a freak off while he was in the shower. She took off because she was like, I want to get out of here. And this is what she gets when she tries to run. So they're using that, the prosecution's using that as an example that it was there was threat.
Duress.
There was
yeah.
threat.
Okay.
Right. I think a lot of people involve themselves in things and then regret it afterwards, and then the narrative changes about whether you were a willing participant in that thing.
Right. It's the back
Right?
to the Me Too
See,
thing.
that's a Harvey Weinstein thing.
And so it's you know,
Like,
if
yeah.
we're just focusing on, personally, I think they should be focusing on more than just this, and maybe they will. Like maybe we
They
haven't,
have to.
you know,
This
like
can't be the whole thing.
You know, like right, like why are we not? I think this is important too because obviously she was beat. Obviously, she was abused. That video is indisputable. We saw it.
Right.
You
The
know?
defense is saying this is not, however, a domestic violence charge.
What is
so this is a RICO charge. This
So-
is not a domestic violence charge.
But we're leaning so heavily into this thing between him and Cassie, which is the interesting part because it's, you know, it focuses on his like sexual exploits versus him ordering murders.
Let's focus
you know,
on-
like why
yes.
are we not talking about that more?
Maybe
you know,
we get to
I mean, I
that.
think this is important too. It's important for her to tell her story, you know,
Yeah.
and be in her truth. But the counter argument to that is, well,
At some
I don't
point-
know if I want to
yeah.
go there. I don't know.
yeah,
if I
yeah,
want
yeah.
that. Yeah.
No, it is interesting because
Yeah.
it's also the first. Okay, so classically, the federal government doesn't lose RICO cases, right? Like RICO cases were created to attack mafia, like organized crime. So they're basically charging him with RICO, but there's no co-conspirators named. Like it's like you're running a ring. It's like okay,
Yeah,
but
who
you're the
else?
only one.
Yeah, you can't do this by
There's
yourself.
a lot of weird stuff about it. That's the only reason I even bring it up because
Okay.
every day it's like interesting. The different angles of
Yeah.
it are fascinating. But you know, it feels to me like we thought there was going to be this big long celebrity list. There were going to be these big videos, lots of people involved. One of the victims has gone missing. Victim number 3 missing. So it's like Cassie's a star witness. Then they have some of the like sex workers so far, like a sex worker has testified. But it's like interesting to see. I kind of like I said to Rich last night, I'm like, I'm kind of getting a feeling like he might get off with a much lower charge.
Oh,
like it might
wow.
just end up being paying for sex
Right, like maybe they don't have the evidence that they really need to take him fully down.
on a RICO.
Yeah.
It's the kind of charge they're you know, because people are like, is she a victim or is she a partner?
Right.
And it's like maybe the two kind of blend in when you're in an abusive relationship that's got these major power dynamics
Right.
and there's all this kind of like illegal stuff going on. So you're kind of complicit in the crime just by being part of it in
Yeah,
any
by
way.
being there, yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I've got my eyes on that. I'm listening every day. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, this is so titillating.
You know,
I know.
it's really tough because, you know, even just, you know, there's so far you could go with that. You know, I mean, like she was 19 whenever they first got together, you know, and like a 19-year-old with a 30-some-year-old man, it's like, what a 30-some-year-old man could make a 19-year-old dude that she's gonna regret when she's 25 or 20,
sure.
you know, or 30 or
any,
whatever. It's just,
any girl
not
who's
even
been
make
in
her do,
Hollywood
but
when
like,
she was young.
you know,
no, but there is a play. No, it's
Yeah.
like Bill Belichick. You know, you seen that guy? He was the Patriots.
I'm sorry, he's not the victim. He's being used right now. He is being used and abused by a 26-year-old.
You said he's not the victim?
No, she is.
He's the victim.
No, he's the victim.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's Rich's coach, you know. You do get into power, like exploitation, then there's like a pay to play, like a transactional quality to it. You know, that Hilaria what's her last name? Hilaria Baldwin. Do you know her?
No.
So she's married to Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin?
Okay.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin. And she just released a book. And on the book, he's got his mouth taped with like, and she has like 6 kids, and she was like 18 or something when she met him. And she's like, it's a whole other trip. Now, there's also this undercurrent of like these young women kind of exploiting, you know, the older guys too. But I think that goes both ways.
Yeah, for sure.
Anytime there is a big age gap, you're like, if you guys aren't partners, you're not seeing eye to eye, you have no similar cultural references, there's something in here that's a little funky. Not that you're not allowed to do it, but then you can't later be like regretting whatever happens as a result of your delusion about it being safe to enter. Something like that. Because
it felt
true.
safe to enter. I mean, in the beginning, right? Everything is sunshine.
And this is not
maybe,
new either.
Who
It's
knows
like,
how it all developed?
You know, one of the Rolling Stones had like a 15-year-old or a 14-year-old little girlfriend that he was running around with. Yeah, and in the public eye, like in the 70s. Do you guys ever watch the Instagram channel that has creepy, cringy lyrics? It's like the creepy, cringy lyric series?
Nope.
Okay. Well, there's a guy who like goes into all the creepy, cringy lyrics of like songs about men who love young little girls. Like there's a lot of them throughout American music history. Like there's so many.
Probably
so it's
world
not like
music
new.
history.
It's not like new, you know. And Jay-Z too has been accused of like kind of, you know, I think when he started dating Beyonce, she was really young too. I mean, this is a thing.
Yeah, but in the Bill Belichick situation,
He's the
this woman, have you seen the interviews where she'll be like, no, he's
We're
not talking about that.
Yeah,
no,
I saw that.
She's controlling
Yeah.
that dude. And you know what? He's probably loving
loves
it
it.
because he's getting that young,
He's a masochist.
hot, you know, chick. Right?
She probably like whips him or something
100%.
like BDSM.
100%. 100%. There's like little
He's like,
peen
do
stuff
whatever you
happening
want.
there.
I'm just happy to be sitting next to you.
It's just like,
He's the arm
meanwhile
charm.
in America, I mean, what in the hell is going on? You know, it's like kind of crazy out there right now with all there's a lot of drama if you're paying attention to pop culture right now. I think it's speaking to something in me. I can't keep my eyes off of it. Anyway, well, I guess that's what happens when the market slows down.
Thank God the drama doesn't disappoint.
So there's a lot of things happening. There's so many things happening. I need to start at the beginning. Clear cooperation. We've already talked the hell out of it. Everybody
Yes.
knows how I feel about it.
Bad.
However. Yes. Bad. But NAR in March released this delayed listing option for MLSs, giving MLSs across America the power to determine how long an agent would have to list something privately but on the MLS, so that you're marketing it to other agents at other brokerages, but it is not on Zillow, Redfin, and some of the other aggregator search portals.
It's not public, but every agent can see it.
Right.
So technically, semi-public.
Yeah, semi-public, but it's not aggregated. So it's not on IDX feeds, not on brokerage site feeds, and that kind of thing. Okay. So that was released, which at the time felt like a little bit of a it felt kind of half-assed in my opinion, because it didn't mandate that companies who have exploited the exemption in the clear cooperation policy for creating an in-house MLS, essentially, which if you're a big company means a big in-house MLS, and if it's a small company, it's a tiny little, it's just very imbalanced the way it's executed. It didn't mandate for them to have to put their private listings on the server. If they had made it so that that was the mandate, then it would be fair. I think then it would be fair. Then we'd have access to all the private listings from Corcoran or from Compass or from Element or whoever has a private listing network. But they didn't do that. Then a lot of MLSs, including CR MLS, which is a Southern California MLS, they were like, you know, we're good. We're not even going to add that as an option. Did you know that? There are MLSs who are like, we don't really want that. It's interesting because it's like the power now, all of a sudden,
is in each MLS's hand.
Yes, what
so
do you
they
think
can
about
decide
that?
now, well, no, I hate all of it. Why can't my client decide how she wants me to sell the house?
Right.
and that'll just have to be okay.
Right. So when I talked with NAR at a very high level, and I asked, since pocket listings are not technically illegal, why can't we make a policy that's applied to all brokerages like equally?
Yeah.
Like, why is that a problem? And they're like, well, it goes into antitrust. I don't really understand. I still don't totally understand. They can't ban, NAR can't ban pocket listings completely. Okay. So that's one of the things. They can't ban
force
it completely.
someone to sell the house publicly if they really don't want to, because the owner of the house is really the person who should be able to make the rules.
Exactly. So they can't do
I
that.
get that part, but
they're trying to make this accommodation now because of all the pushback. Okay. So long story short is Zillow and Redfin then came out saying that they weren't going to let any listing that's been privately marketed, but publicly privately marketed, like through an in-house MLS at a brokerage, they're not going to let those listings on their portfolio, on their search
on
database,
their portal.
On their portal. Sorry, yes, the portal. How could I forget the word portal? Then Homes.com came out and said, we're going to boost in just to be, I don't know, contrary.
Yes.
They're like, well, we're going to boost. Homes.com has a very small presence in the search portal world. Zillow's is huge, the biggest, like by a landslide. Homes is very small. So I'm like, maybe they're just doing this as a publicity stunt. But it's also a check, right? So what do you guys think? Like, they're doing
it and Zillow doesn't. But remember, didn't we hear from this agent the other day? It was on private exclusive and it ended up on Redfin.
Yes.
So where's how does Redfin and Zillow even find out if that listing had been on any private thing? Because they don't have access to it unless they have people on the inside snooping for them.
That's a really good question.
How would you know?
How would you know?
How would you know?
That's a really good question.
And the fact that it ended
Whitney
up.
Houston song.
How
will I know?
Yes.
If it was privately listed.
And that is the reason. I mean, and now the thing was, the house was listed. It ended up being listed on Zillow.
Right.
So that what they said is obviously not what they're doing.
Well, I think it just started in May. Like May 1st, I think was the date that supposedly Zillow was going to stop publishing these previously privately marketed listings.
Yeah.
I have no idea how they're going to police that.
It's a
I
mess.
have zero idea.
It's just a mess, and and there's new lawsuits every day about something.
There are, yes. But then Compass was like, okay, well, we're going to create a private listings book. Did you hear about this?
We're printing it now?
Printed book.
Old school?
It's going to sit, like 1992. And it's going to sit, I guess, at the front desk of their offices. And then other agents from other brokerages are welcome to come
in
over.
And look through the book?
I'm like, if you're
going
going to do
back
that,
in
why
time?
not just put it on the MLS?
Are we going back in time?
Here, come into this office.
Yes, right.
There you go.
Let me show you what we have.
And it's environmentally
a
very
coffee.
unsustainable.
It's
like,
ridiculous.
is somebody manually updating every
No.
time something goes under contract?
No.
I'm like, well, how much paper are you using to print this?
Yeah.
This is
It just
stupid. It's
feels,
stupid.
I
No.
know. And then
No.
NWMLS, Northwest MLS, cut Compass's feed to the actual MLS.
Oh.
And
dear
then
God.
Refkin sued NWMLS. But NWMLS said they feel that exclusive marketing is fundamentally unfair. So they don't want to support it at all. But it's just interesting because in these past couple of years, really since Clear Cooperation now, the MLS is all of a sudden have all this power. Now, who runs the MLS? Do you know who runs our MLS?
Well, we're supposed to run our MLS because we're the members.
We don't run our
But
MLS.
we don't run it. There's a board. Is there a board of directors?
You don't know?
I guess I don't
Do you know?
Nope.
No.
Do you?
Yeah, I
Okay.
do. I do, because I walked up to that lady and I said, I'm going to be a pain in your ass when I met her. But there's like a CEO. She, I think, has an accounting background.
She
Her name
does
is
the
Anne.
admin stuff? She runs the thing?
Yeah, she's
Huh.
and
Okay.
I'm not saying she does a bad job necessarily. I'm just saying she's not a real estate agent.
Oh,
know?
wow. Is she not?
She's not. No.
Okay.
And I remember being called into the MLS several times, which I appreciate, but they call us in to do like beta testing of their different products and stuff. And one of the questions that they asked a room full of brokers was, so what do you guys do all day? How do you
that's
use
cute.
our... And I'm like, how do you not know this?
Well, see, that's the problem because she's not an agent.
And also, the MLS has been created as a database
Yeah.
and in the past it was for sharing cooperating commissions, really.
So it's really just a tech platform.
It's a tech platform.
Yeah.
It's not an ethics platform. There's no where is the higher level accountability? How you there's no nationwide agreement on how to enter things, on what days on market means. There's no and so a lot of these listings that have been sold off market also don't even appear in the MLS, which is what most agents use to pull comps to price properties. So there's this whole other component to encouraging off-market listings that are truly off-market, like never make it to the MLS at all, that has an impact on our data. And Zillow knows this.
Yeah.
Zillow needs the listings. They live on our listings, right? So do you think it's a good move? Do you feel like it's a good checkmate to have Zillow and Redfin saying we're not going to publish these on our site?
I mean, so far it has no impact.
I know, but if it did have the intended impact, what do you think?
I mean, I do think it levels the playing field a bit, because it is unfair to the smaller brokerages, the boutique brokerages, that the bigger behemoths can just privately promote listings within their brokerages, right? So I think having some kind of penalty, right, which in this case is not syndicating to Zillow or Redfin, makes sense.
Right, because there have been lawsuits now where sellers left money on the table by doing it that way.
See, that's
and Compass or whoever or whatever XYZ brokerage tries to keep it in house.
allegedly.
Well, I mean, that's what the lawsuit said.
Right. So
sellers are saying I would have gotten $200,000 more for this house if everybody would have seen it.
Right.
But I was told, let's sell it this way, and this is a good way, and somebody made double commission.
Right.
And so there's that.
That is
so
also
that will backfire,
an accusation. A lot of people are saying
that will backfire too. So I don't know. Everything is just
right.
So
because allegedly, right?
Right.
Allegedly, aren't they offering like an incremental amount to agents who are able to convince their sellers to list on this private exclusive situation? And that is part of the thing that is also a question of now disclosure, right? Is that payment that you're receiving being disclosed to the seller who's agreeing to
leave it in-house?
Yeah, leave it in-house and, keep it away from the eyes of the public.
You're bringing up a lot of really great questions.
I mean, that would have to be. We're disclosed.
It would have to be.
Yes, and there are, I did see that, again, Redfin kind of 10 toes down in this thing is like making it now incentivizing agents to post on their social media about the private exclusives network, and a whole thing. It's like a war. It's like a war.
Yeah, it's.
And so Summer Gorlick, who is she was, I think, forensics for the Department of Real Estate. I think she's a consultant now. I follow her on LinkedIn. And she said state regulators are starting to take notice. They're starting to say, okay, we need to step in here and do something.
Good.
So there is, I don't know how fast it's going to go. Certainly every day feels like a new story. And you're right, there was a lawsuit that was filed by a seller who did this and felt that they didn't sell their property for as much as they could have. Also, some internal documents have become now public, where it's like shows like the different marketing, the pitch that's being made. But you have to ask yourself too, as a seller, like why? And we've always asked this question: why would you want your listing to not be public? And the way some people are selling it is like, oh, you get to test your price. But even your test price is not a true market test price.
And you can test your price on coming soon on the MLS.
Exactly.
Because you don't rack up days on market on that, and you get more public exposure. You get exposure
that was
to
another
different
thing.
brokerages.
No, that was another argument they were making. Oh, well, if you do it this way, then you don't have that whole that god awful days on market thing hanging around your neck.
And now our MLS also offers us that same opportunity with coming soon. And not racking up days on market. And you can change your price when you're in the coming soon status on our MLS, and it doesn't show a price change. So if people want to test their prices, voila, you've got it. And it's going to expose you to all brokerages who are part of the MLS, right? But, I think everybody should question when a BlackRock funded brokerage tries to monopolize an industry.
Yeah, but a lot, I got to tell you, if you start looking, Vanguard and BlackRock have ownership in almost all of them. It's crazy.
Except Acme.
Except
Yeah,
Acme.
except Acme.
I saw an
No one
actual
owns us.
diagram. I saw a diagram of all of the major brokerages in America, and almost every single one of them has some percentage of BlackRock or Vanguard.
Right. So then who does that kind of policy work for? Right? The
So
bigger brokerages owned by
Yeah, well, also
Right.
That's also the answer
Interesting.
to all these things. It'll never go away because it's just
It's a
mess.
it's a mess. It's a
mess.
messy mess.
So
But you can't. I mean, I guess once you go public, like people are able to make investments in your company or whatever. I don't really know how it works at that
when
big
they're also
corporate
the
level, but
competition in the market
Yeah.
against real buyers, right? That's scary.
that's the part where you go, okay, so if the consumer's not winning in this, and everybody, brokerages like us are going to have to pay. We're all going to pay the price for any additional lawsuits that come out of this, for any additional lack of transparency that happens. Like, I shouldn't say lack of transparency that happens, for any additional, I mean, if they find that, for example, dual agency. When you're a boutique brokerage, the dual agency doesn't happen that much. Like, I don't feel like super exposed, I understand it. We over disclose as much as possible. It is what it is, but it's not like I'm incentivizing. There's no incentivizing. It's more like somebody trusts us because they know us, or it's one of my existing clients who want to write on one of my offers. But if they get rid of dual agency completely, that is a direct impact on me. And I didn't do this. I didn't create an in-house listing service where I disincentivize people to.
but can you
go
imagine
on
the
public-
impact it has on a big brokerage if dual agency was eliminated?
Yeah,
Isn't
it's going to
it-
be huge.
That would be
Is it
huge revenue.
It's not.
And
it's
that
not
will
legal
have
in every
agents
state.
In
possibly
Florida, isn't
leave.
dual agency illegal?
Illegal, yeah.
So then how do we, I guess.
In Florida, it's different too because it's transactional brokerage. That's what they call it. Like, they don't even do fiduciary. So when I was training on buyer agency, it was kind of like, we don't really do that here. But they do. They do buyer agency up to a
Okay.
certain point and then convert to
But
transactional broker.
dual being prohibited meaning the same person, right?
Same
They're
person.
not-
Brokerage, I
They're
think.
not talking
Well,
about the
dual
brokerage 'cause-
agency does mean same brokerage.
No, I know,
too.
but in this case, it
But that's a good
pertains to the
question.
person, because imagine you had 200 or 400 agents, and I'm repping a buyer, and I come to your listing, I don't even know who you are, and I'm not allowed to write it because we're on the same broker.
But again,
That
you're bringing
would-
up a good point,
that
because
wouldn't-
that comes right
that's-
back to the Compass in-house or the Douglas Elliman or the Corcoran in-house listing network. Because if we think that dual agency, if people agree that dual agency is what the incentive is in that, then it would mean that you couldn't write, and they outlaw it. That means you're not going to be able to write, no matter what agent you are, on a listing that's represented by the same
Yeah,
brokerage.
but that's absurd.
And, yeah,
I mean,
I agree. It is.
I mean, that's
I mean, how many that would be insane. Agents would lose business over it. They'd be like, okay, my buyer is going somewhere else now because I'm not allowed to write the offer for them. I don't know this agent.
know.
But I'm not allowed because we have the same shingle in our signature.
Listen, lady, this is
That's
what
what
they
I'm
have
paying
to,
my
this is what they
commission
have
to?
figure. I know.
Oh, gee, that's insane. I'm sorry.
But that's-
people will lose. I mean, everybody's their own broker soon, so they can write offers for whatever they want to. It'll be the Wild West. Imagine that.
I mean, it already starting to feel like
Yeah.
that.
I mean-
that's the thing, is that
I
when
think agency is being dismantled.
Yeah.
and there's another,
Well-
the agency is I think you're right. I think that's the higher level conversation is if they can give our industry enough of a black eye, then the regulators are going to start saying this needs to be employee-based kind of a thing or something like that. And if
wouldn't
they
that
did that,
be-
it's
yeah,
going to put a lot of
no.
people out of business.
Yeah, that would be
And those lawsuits
detrimental.
those kinds of legal questions about self-employed, like 1099 contractor status for real estate salespeople come up every year, every
but that's
single year.
also crazy.
It comes up.
Because everybody who is a working real estate agent knows how much effort and time and money and everything goes into building that business. And somebody can't just be taking it away by saying, okay, now you're an employee. Like, wait, what?
Did you see the
I
Deborah
could have
Kamen
done
article?
a completely different field if that was going to be
Of course,
happening.
and that
This
is what will happen.
That's crazy.
No, that's what will happen. So I
Right,
asked,
so then let's go and do that with all kinds of fields where people actually
that's
have
what they
a
want to
career
do. It actually
and
is a
make
truck
money.
driver case. I read one of them was a truck driver. So like truck driver, okay, there's a depth to this, but 1099 contractor status makes the government less in taxes. Okay. Going back to the beginning where it's like, as much as possible, the powers that be want us to literally have none of our own money in our hand. So if you have to pay payroll tax, you know, and all this stuff up front, that's money that they can then use and spend on your behalf and sell you all the excellent reasons why you don't need your own money, which is a successful sales pitch a lot of the time. I mean, look at all the resistance against even auditing. I saw, it's funny because even in LA, you see that Karen Bass does not want to have an audit of the homeless money that's gone to homelessness. Of course she doesn't. Because when you start auditing government, the way they audit us with taxes and stuff, you get to see where your money's really spent, and that's what Doge, I think, was trying to do, and piss a lot of people off. Because some people really would prefer to just not know. You just want to be blindly thinking that what they said is what they're doing. But in LA, for example, you can clearly see that whatever the funds were that were going to homelessness relief or whatever aren't going anywhere. Anywhere near where they're supposed to go. I saw something about the new construction of like, it was supposed to be housing. And the amount that it actually ended up being to create like one bedroom apartment was like $1 million.
Yes.
Yeah,
$800,000.
And they made 6 of them.
And the contractors was like married to someone in the city. That was
So I'm really hoping that this is a new era of transparency.
Yeah, that would be great.
And I was talking with Jason Haber, who is at Compass, but he's also the co-founder of the American Real Estate Association, which is kind of originally was positioning itself as an alternative, I think, to NAR. But his philosophy, what he said on the Zoom that we did, was that he thinks that this low barrier to entry in our industry is because NAR needs and wants more people paying into the 3-tiered system.
Allegedly.
Which is another lawsuit. Yes, allegedly. But this is another lawsuit that's happening right now. So you know how we have to pay every year to our state, local, and national association of realtors. Like you just have to. Yeah. So there are now lawsuits about that. I mean, there have been, some got dismissed. There was one recently that got dismissed. A new one just popped up. So it's like not just our independent contractor status or the dismantling of agency. This idea of maybe some people think, oh, AI can do this. No, AI cannot do this. But also, even just the entire structure of how things have been done is under scrutiny right now. It's
under attack.
Wild. Portal wars. Yeah, and then there's another thing that's happening too, which again, maybe this is a little boring, but it is what's going on in our world right now. So like companies like Rocket and Mr. Cooper, or like there are companies acquiring companies, like Movoto just got acquired. They're trying to create like an all-in-one platform, which again, just feels like it's not good for this consumer. Like it might make you more money, but where's consumer choice? Like they need to have choices. Shop for different lenders, shop for different agents, shop for different choices, and so it's going in this other direction. It's very wild. It's wild times. Any thoughts on any of that? No, just rolling with it.
Well, I don't think I'm as passionate about it as you are.
Oh my God, it's like our whole entire livelihood though. You're like, that's cool, I'll just find something else to do. You are really good at painting. It's true.
You know what, honestly, yeah.
Really?
It's not.
That's not your jam.
It's just not my,
What's your jam? What are you passionate about?
I need some new jam.
Yeah?
Well, I need some new passions.
Something to get you revved up?
Yeah. I've got nothing. I'm emotionless.
Oh gosh.
Oh.
That's sad.
Well, I hear that though. I mean, it's a 24/7 thing, and it's always occupying your mind. I feel like I don't know what I'm still passionate about. It's like I don't have time to think about that because I'm working all the time and I'm trying to,
You see this, people. This is
what
real
it
estate
is.
agents
It's
really
like,
go through.
It's like passion. Like it almost feels like that's child's play. What do you mean passionate about what? Traveling. I am happy. I would love to travel. I love to eat delicious food every day. That's my passion. Like just bring on the most amazing food and let me travel. I would be happy as a clam, but I wouldn't be like, what else would I be doing? If I go back when the dream was like, what could I be in my life?
Yeah.
Like I wanted to be a pilot. I was like gung ho. Like I'm going to be flying commercial airliner. Wow. I love it. I love everything aviation. Like I'm into it, but I'm too fucking old now to be. I'm like, yeah, let's get on board. We're flying. Well, exactly. No. Thank you for putting that right there. How's your vision? Well, it's, I can still see you. No, all kidding aside, but yeah, I mean, that used to be, but it's not like a fallback. Oh yeah, I'll just fly.
Just fly a plane. I mean, I suppose you could. You're not dead yet.
I mean, right. I guess I could get my license and fly those tiny little murder planes. I'm
Oh my
not
God,
gonna
no, never. Don't
I
fly
would
the small
never.
ones. No private.
Never do that.
All right, okay. Well, why
Never.
don't we wrap up with this? Do you
Okay,
have
yeah,
a
let's
favorite
go back.
favorite thing that we could share? A favorite thing that you love that you would recommend to anybody who's watching the show?
What, like a good
Anything. Any just thing, your new favorite thing.
Oh my God. See.
You don't have a new favorite thing? I know you do.
What?
You just got a new doggy.
What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't know that.
All the pets.
Yeah.
That's a new favorite thing.
Yeah, that's true.
You think somebody should come up with dog-scented candles? Just kidding.
Oh my
God.
God.
When do you want that doggy
Like
scent?
a thing?
When you want your husband to move out,
don't
buy this.
It would be like an anti-brand.
Oh my God.
Okay, my new favorite thing is the Flow Pilates board. It's like $120 or something. Plastic, okay? Pilates board, 14-minute workouts per day. I love it because I'm still trying to get rid of the baby weight. That's my new favorite thing. Yes, my Pilates board. I just love so much. That's my new favorite thing.
Okay. Oh, so we're going much more. I was like going into this whole philosophical, like, what is my thing?
Well,
We're just like a thing. Okay, a thing.
We can't put a link to you being a pilot.
I know. Yes.
I know what we're gonna get you for Christmas though.
An airplane?
No.
Didn't you want this awesome? You wanted a plane. You were like, if I have money, I'm going to have a
rose gold private jet. After all the private jets and small planes that have gone down, no
longer.
No, it's not
Let's do a 747.
It's not. I'm flying.
Let's do a big plane.
I am flying commercial.
We want a big plane with a pilot.
Okay.
We want an Acme plane. Oh my God, let's get an Acme plane.
Okay.
You know, like Led Zeppelin had a plane. That was fucking cool. We should get our own plane.
Oh yeah, I have no idea how this went in, but all right, sounds good. Okay. You got the.
Okay, what's your thing?
Well, yeah,
Let's
I guess,
rewind. Let's do the
well,
thing
you're
for
right.
real. Okay.
Actually, my favorite new thing is Buddy.
Oh,
my adopted Pitty, who's so cute. He's a year and a half old, and I adopted him from the Carson Animal Shelter. And honestly,
Shout out to that shelter.
Shout out to Carson Animal Shelter, because I can't even believe that a dog as good as Buddy was just sitting in his little, in his little kennel.
Just waiting
in there.
for you.
Just waiting.
Are you keeping his name Buddy?
Yeah, we're keeping it.
Okay.
We're keeping it.
He's
Because
used
he
to
is
it
a
now,
buddy.
huh?
He's
Yeah.
he's
buddy.
like, he loves to be near you. He loves to show you his belly
That's
and
so
get belly rubs.
sweet.
And he's just the sweetest.
That is so sweet.
He honestly is the sweetest.
On that note, my cat just got a tracking collar.
Is that your new favorite thing?
Oh yes, the orange cat who always tries to run away, and now we're tracking his ass. So next time he gets out, I hope he won't.
We're gonna put
Here
a
we
link
go.
to the Carson Animal Shelter, a link to the thing she
The
got for her
the
cat,
tracking collar.
and a link to the Flow Pilates board. That's gonna be in here. This is a super fun episode of Under All Is the Land, and we'll see you next time if real estate still exists.
Add a couple notches to the belt. Under all